Hello, welcome to this yin yoga practice with a bolster. We're going to move gently today with lots of support, a very nurturing practice, and you'll need a yoga bolster, of course, and also one yoga block. So let's take this block at one end of the mat at the middle height, and the bolster about a foot away from it. And then lie back over your bolster so that you're getting the back of your heart against the bolster more than the lower back. We don't really want this in the low back. This is a heart opening position, and the bolster will come right under the head. And you could bring it down to a lower height if that feels more satisfying for you. The arms come out to either side, and you'll want to adjust so that it feels like your arms can relax right over the top edge of the bolster. And now we will soften here for a bit, continuing to make any adjustments that you need for your comfort. You could choose to have your knees bent, or even open the knees out in a butterfly. And once you get to the position that feels right, take a deep breath in and breathe out. And let your body soften into this support. Continue to breathe into this nice open position of the heart, the lungs. And starting to invite the nervous system to calm down. Enjoying the support of this cushioning below you. And allow yourself to surrender into this support. Inhale and exhale. And now slowly releasing, make your way straight up, or if you want to turn to the side, roll to the side first. That could be another way to get out of it. We're going to come into butterfly pose with this bolster under the seat. So sitting up on the bolster with the feet together, you can play around with the feet being closer or farther away from you as you rest forward. You can have your hands on your feet, on the floor, or on your legs. If you have two blocks, another option is to have a block under each hand. And breathe. Letting each exhale carry you into a deeper state of release. Noticing, feeling where your body is stretching, your spine maybe, your sacrum perhaps, your inner thighs perhaps. And keep on breathing steadily and easily into your back, into your sacrum, and into your hips. And now slowly come up, and coming upright, resting here in a cross-legged seated position, just to feel the effects of these first two poses, a back bend and then a forward bend. Notice what you feel in your spine. Notice any energy that is present anywhere in your body. And now letting the eyes open as you come into a side lying position over the bolster. So lying down with the ribs right over the bolster, and the block is there for your head if you want it, or if you're more comfortable letting your head come all the way to the ground, that's fine as well. And now we can choose, if it feels good, to let this left arm, or whichever side you're on, the top arm comes up and over. And breathing into this stretch in the left ribs, left armpit, left waist. Like I'm doing, you can play around with the micro adjustments here, whether your weight rolls a little more toward your back body or a little more toward your front body. Breathing right into the torso, right into the ribs. And slowly releasing and slowly rolling over to the other side. Positioning yourself, fine-tuning your block height, your bolster position. And again, make sure this bolster is not too low. We want it more in contact with the armpit and not so much in the soft part of the torso, supporting the ribs so that we can get this really hard to find, hard to achieve stretch in this middle torso area. The thoracic spine, the rib cage is a very heavily fortressed place in this human body. But when we can use gravity like this with the support of our wonderful yoga props, then we have an opportunity to feel into these places we don't often feel. And to breathe into places we maybe don't often breathe so deeply into. Breathe into the ribs, armpit, and now slowly coming out of this, making your way up and taking a child's pose with the bolster there to support the arms, the forearms and elbows. And just resting here. Forehead may also be resting on your bolster. And now slowly coming up and into tadpole pose, where we'll do something that might be a little new. I'm gonna just straddle the bolster like a wide-legged child's pose, but then lift my hips and slide the bolster back so that I'm kind of mounting it like a horse, I guess, and then taking the block under the forehead. Now, if your knees are ending up on an uncomfortable surface, then you could turn your whole body sideways on your mat or spread a blanket out to pad them. And the forehead comes onto this bolster just so that your face has a nice open place to breathe here rather than when we don't use a block. I mean, if you don't have a block, you could do it this way and just have your head turned one way. But it's quite nice to have the head be able to stay centered and still be able to breathe easily. And you might want your block at the lowest height. You decide. Resting here, wherever you are. Take a breath in and exhale and soften into the bolster. Slowly now coming out of Tadpole and onto your back with your bolster under your knees. So turn the bolster sideways and rest on your back, feeling what's happening in your body now at this point in the practice. Resting and breathing. Noticing any particular sensations, perhaps some inner thigh sensations after the last pose. Maybe energy moving around the heart or the spine. And now bend your knees and place your feet on your bolster. Open your arms wide and just take some easy windshield wipers with the feet on the bolster, knees side to side. And coming back up to the center for a twist with the bolster on your right side. And now extend your right leg long down the mat. Left knee comes up and over and onto the block. And different options here, different strokes for different folks. You might like to have your entire knee and foot and shin on the bolster, or you might like taking the bolster closer in and letting the foot dangle off the side. Or you might like doing this thing. Some people like to have the foot only on the bolster and let the knee dip farther over toward the side. If you're someone who's comfortable with the cattail, you can bend the right leg up and hold the foot with this option, with any of these options actually. So find your happy place and rest there. Resting here, breathing here, and softening with every breath, with every exhale. And now slowly come back up to the center and slowly transition to the second side, placing your bolster, arranging your hips with your left leg straight down, your right knee coming up and over, and the bolster maybe supporting your entire knee, shin, foot, maybe the foot coming over the edge of the bolster, maybe the knee dipping down, maybe holding the back foot. Settling into your twist. Breathing into your twist, breathing into your spine, ribs, lungs, heart. And now releasing, coming back to the center, resting on the back once again for 1 minute with the bolster under your knees. And now transitioning to a position with the bolster under your hips. So place your feet flat so that you can lift your hips and pull the bolster back to come under the hips. And now hug the knees in toward your chest. Breathing here. You might be clasping the fingers, holding opposite wrists or forearms, or even holding opposite elbows. And now release this and extend into a supported bridge pose with the legs straight, which is sometimes called Golden Gate pose or pontoon pose, whatever you want to call it. Relaxing here, your arms can be at any comfortable angle. You could widen the legs if you'd like, or keep them narrow. And enjoying this gentle opening of the front of the pelvis. And as you take your next breath in, imagine the breath is expanding into the pelvic bowl. And exhaling from the pelvic bowl. Continuing to breathe in and out of this area. And now taking the left knee in toward the chest and holding this upside down dragon pose, if we can call it, or a one-legged what? There's too many options of what to call this. Let's stick with the upside down dragon. And here you might feel a little bit more in the quad, hip flexor region, especially hip flexors. If you want more of that sensation, you could consider holding the left foot instead of the knee into this one-legged happy baby variation. Wherever you are, whatever shape your body is in, breathe in to fill the whole body. And breathe out to soften the whole body. And now switching sides, left leg forward, right leg in. Hugging the knee in, or alternatively, the one-legged happy baby pose variation. Opening up, breathing into the left hip flexors, the front of the left hip, psoas. It's the perfect antidote to too much sitting, to just gently stretch our fascia the other way. and releasing the leg. Taking both feet about mat width apart, and we'll do this windshield wipers again. This time hips are on the bolster. Knees side to side. And now we will come into a figure 4 pose with the hips elevated, taking your right foot flat on the ground, left ankle over the right knee, and draw the right leg in toward you, clasping behind the thigh or in front of the shin. This is a wonderful way to do this pose, especially if you're anything like me and my arms just kind of get a little tired of holding my legs, and when there's not this elevation of the hips, but here there's so much less effort, and there's still just as good or maybe even a better stretch happening in the glutes. So the primary sensation, the primary target area is the left glutes, left buttock. You could play around with alternative leg positions like straightening this leg, holding the foot, or just letting the leg be there, relaxing the arms if that happens to work for you. Playing around with it till you find the pose that feels wonderful today. And once you're in your place of wonderfulness, breathe into your body and soften into the wonderfulness as you exhale. Savoring each breath here. And release the legs. Extend both legs long. Interlace your fingers, stretch them up over your head. And now taking it to the second side, left foot flat, left knee bent, right ankle over the left knee. Figure 4 pose. Clasping behind the thigh or in front of the shin, or alternative leg positions, holding the foot, the calf, what have you. Releasing the legs, extending them both long down the mat. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up and away. Now we're going to bend both knees and come into happy baby pose, holding the feet. Hold the insides or outsides of the feet, that's up to you. If that doesn't work for you, hold on to one knee with each hand instead. And we are stretching into the back, the lower back. Again, a lot less effort goes into it. When the hips are elevated on a bolster like this, you could also choose to extend the legs more if that's in your range of motion or not. See what feels good. Settle into the way your body wants to be and breathe into it. Inhaling into the lower back. Exhaling. Surrendering. Enjoying this somewhat upside down position, this different orientation to gravity with the legs. And slowly releasing, slowly coming off of your bolster. You could roll to one side and get this bolster. There's two choices for our final relaxation because we have arrived. One is to be here with the bolster under the knees in your supported Shavasana, knees resting on the bolster, or making your way to the wall with your bolster under your hips. So the bolster comes right up against the wall. And then the hardest part is getting into it because we have to lie down sideways on the bolster and then swing the legs up the wall. You can spread your arms out in a T or rest them over the head. And once you find yourself in a comfortable place, inviting this sense of rest and once again enjoying the support under the hips or the knees, whatever you have going on. Taking a deep breath in, long breath out. breathing easily, letting the breath carry you deeper into this experience. Experiencing yourself as you are in this moment. Your body, where it's resting. Your breath, how it's flowing. Taking another breath now into the belly, into the back. As you exhale, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, stretch out into your arms and legs, and slowly roll to one side. And come up. Find a comfortable seat on your bolster. And taking a minute to sit and feel the change in your system from when you began your practice. And as we prepare to close, just bring the palms together in front of the heart, and with gratitude, take a breath into your heart and a breath out. And that is today's practice. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Devi Daly. I will see you next time.